Old Star like it was nothing. All right, guys, what's going on? There's one question I think I'm always getting asked, whether it's on Snapchat, TikTok, Instagram. I'm here to answer those in this video. Basically, this video is going to be the do's and don'ts on building a truck. Also to walk you through the process on how to think and what to do to your truck, because obviously I can't tell you everything on my opinion because everybody's budgets are different, everybody's taste is different, and there's a lot of different classes on how you want your truck to be. So in the video, first off, we're going to start with, I think the most obvious thing in the building. You'll obviously have lift kits, and then you go into wheels. Then in my opinion, this is obviously opinion, I think you need to go into lighting. It all just depends on where your building goes as far as the lift kit and even the wheels and tires, because they have lighting for that too. That's why I think the first two define on how much lighting you should have and whatnot. And then there's also audio, paint matching, tinting, which I think everybody does too. That's probably number 4, honestly, in my opinion, because I love dark windows. Then you can get in crazy, go aftermarket bumpers, aftermarket headlights, aftermarket grills like this one right here, deleting and tuning. There's a whole bundle of stuff you got to think about when building a truck, and every ounce of it is going to affect your budget because there's different ways you can do things as well. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's go ahead and get into the lift kit portion of this video. So if you guys don't know by now, if you guys live in a box of rocks, I run the any level lift kit on this truck right here. That is an insane budget to have. This is mainly geared towards someone that is building their first vehicle. If an any level is your first vehicle, you're doing something, you daddy, someone's doing something right. These any levels are absolutely incredible. You're going to be spending probably at least $40,000 just to be able to get one of these. So do not start with an any level. On my first gen, I had a rough country leveling kit on it. On my third gen, I had a rough country 5-inch lift. On my first 2017 F-250, I had a 8-inch rough country lift. So basically the point I'm trying to make, you probably should run rough country. They're durable lifts. They might ride like crap. People put rough country down. They're pieces of crap and they're not very good. They're great quality as far as durability. They're affordable. Once you powder coat them, there's no rough country logos on them or anything except for the shocks. So as long as you replace the shocks and you powder coat your lift, nobody's gonna even know it's a rough country. That was like that on my third gen and my 17. But there's also a few different other options. There's ones like Ready Lift, McGoy's. PMF is a great option if you're looking to spend a little bit more money on a lift. You can get coilover conversions. You can go into airbags, Kelderman kits. Those are generally about half the price of any level. But rough countries are easy to install. Generally, it's all bolt-on stuff. Like there's no fabrication when it comes to rough country, McGoy's, or even Ready Lift. But those are all in different price ranges. A lot of them, rough countries, where they get things so cheap is they keep their shocks so cheap. Basically, it makes the whole rest of the lift affordable versus a place like PMF. They run either Fox shots or versus they're not running those rough country shocks that are so cheap. And a lot of your more expensive lift kits, they will actually have reservoirs with the shocks, meaning they're just going to ride 10 times better. Like I said, I think this portion of the video is going to be completely based off your budget. You can go from, you can spend $800 on a lift kit and install it yourself, or you can go all the way up to $25,000, even $50,000 for a lift kit like this that you can install yourself, and it just takes way more time. It took 11 months to build this truck. So it's all just depending on what you're wanting to build, what your budget is. But if you're genuinely starting to build your first vehicle, I'm going to put a picture of my third gen right here. It is an absolute great option to go rough country. Again, they may not ride the best, but they look like any other lift, and they're durable. I put a lot of miles on that one. I know there's a reason everybody runs rough country. They're probably the biggest lift brand out there. It's one, yes, because they're cheap, so that's why everybody runs them. But how many people do you know that have ran into problems with a rough country lift? I don't know of anybody. Maybe you do. Put it in the comments if you do. Rough country is not a bad option to start out when you're trying to decide what kind of truck you're wanting to build, because you would hate to spend way too much money and you don't even like lifted trucks. All right, so now we came over here to my dually because, in my opinion, this is more of a build for the people I'm trying to target towards. In my opinion, the first good sized wheel is a 22 by 12 or even possibly a 22 by 14. That was the first wheel that I ran on my third gen. Sorry, the first wheel I ran on my third gen was a 22 by 12, but when I got forged wheels about a year later, I got 22 by 14s and it looked absolutely sick. On that truck, I first had a 3-inch level with 22 by 14s and 33s. Which in my opinion was perfect. And then I went on a 5-inch lift, kept the same 2214s, and just swapped the tires to 35 1550s. This truck right here has 22-inch dually wheels. Obviously it's not super singles. On some 35 1250, some kind of mud tire. Anyways, this is perfect size setup. The lift is a Ready Lift on a 2.5-inch level. If you're gonna be running 35s on a single wheel, you're probably gonna have to step up to around a 4-inch lift. unless you're running to run a big size wheel and tire and not be able to turn. Again, there's a whole rabbit hole with wheels, just like there's with this kit. Again, it's going to be affected by your budget or even what you're wanting to do. You may not want to go with 22s, and that's completely fine. They make some very nice 15 or 16.5 inch weld wheels that you can throw on some nice 35-inch boggers. And I'm personally not, I don't love the look of that. It's nothing that I've been into. I don't like mud trucks per se. I prefer I will take my big wheels and skinny tires all day long over boggers, and that's just my opinion. If you like welds and boggers, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I've seen a lot of trucks that look good with them, but personally on my trucks, I love big wheels. So when you step up to a build like this, a lot of times you'll see these people running 30 by 16s. That's what these wheels are. They're absolutely insane. They're gonna run you close to $13,000. These are Liberty forged wheels, as you see the large sticker on the side of my truck. If you really want forged wheels, I would hit up Liberty. Their customer service is great. I'm not being paid to say this. They are really just a bunch of cool guys. Like I said, these wheels, very, very expensive. These are not probably gonna be for a lot of people's builds. But you also decide what you want, if you want cast wheels or forged wheels. The wheels that I've got over here on my dually are cast wheels. They're perfect, they were cheap. They were $3,800 shipped to my door with spiked lug nuts. Now the wheel on these two trucks are forged wheels. The pros of forged wheels, they are, you can fix them, you can polish them, so meaning they don't have a coating to ruin on them. And if you ever get curb, if your girl is ever driving your truck and she curbs in the Taco Bell parking lot, you can fix it. And these forged wheels look 10 times better polished than a set of brand new chrome wheels. Now, as far as cast wheels, like I have on my dually, but mainly we're talking about wides here. Cast wheels are great. They're an affordable option. They're still pretty durable. I have seen, you know, it depends on what brand you get. I like Calis if you're gonna go cast. Honestly, people talk crap on Moto Metals, XDs. I've not seen a Moto Metal or an XD get bent out of shape and all chipped up and all that stuff. So just opinionized, they're not even bad wheels. But if you're gonna go with the bigger wheel, I recommend Calis. Cali Summits is a beautiful option. Really, you can't go wrong with any of your cast wheels. A lot of hardcores and tough branded wheels are going to break a lot easier, meaning if you hit a curb with a rubber band, it's gonna break. But generally, if you got a big tire, you're probably gonna be fine either way. But again, like the problem, the cons with them, the main pro is that they're affordable. The cons, if you bust one, or if you curb one, they have to be replaced. There's no fixing them. I'll go ahead and put a small section of tires because mainly this is gonna be affected by what choice you decide to run on lift. So basically tires, in my opinion, a 35 is a perfect size tire from anywhere from a 4-inch to about a 6-inch lift. Step up to 37s, anything over 6, and anything over 10 needs to have a 40 on it. But if you're gonna run a level on a 1500, generally you're gonna probably want 31s. You can run 33s, but you're gonna rub. But on any diesels, 2500s, 33s are gonna run on a level, no freaking problem. You might rub a little bit, especially if you're as wide, like 14 wide, 16 wide, stuff like that. But I do not recommend you run a 26 and a 33. I've got a buddy that keeps busting wheels and he keeps buying them because they look cool, and they do look good, but he keeps busting them. I generally like to have the last number of the tire size, meaning like say 35, the 5, be over the last number of the wheel. 33 on a 22, 35 on a 22, 37s on 22s if you're into that. Or if you're gonna step up to a 26, 37s, 38s, 40s. Basically, that's kind of the rule that I like to live by. I never like to go 26 and 33. 26s and 35s is not a bad option. Like if you're a number lower, it doesn't matter. But there's still rubber bands, you still risk them busting. All right, so lighting. I'm actually going to have a whole separate video on lighting. Lighting is absolutely insane. There's so many options. I wanna talk about everything you can do, and I'm gonna do every ounce of that with the CZ Mods guys. I've been trying to work with them on a date to go over there and actually get some content. Honestly, just help you guys understand lighting, how much you should get. Because there's a lot of different options. There are dual row wheel lights, quad row wheel lights, up to 7, up to 28 row wheel lights that are inner outer. There are all kinds of different rock lights from 3 diode all the way up to, I think you can get like 108 diode now, or more than that. You can get 4 rock lights, you can get 30. I'm gonna have a whole separate video about that, but generally on your starter vehicles, as long as you go from CZ Mods, they're super bright, durable. Use my code, it's just Holden. CZ Mods is a fantastic brand, but generally on your first builds, 12 rock lights is plenty. You might wanna step up to 20 eventually, especially when you're getting powder coating. I prefer all white rock lights, all white lighting in general, except for a starlight. I don't mind to run color on starlights every now and then, but rock lights, wheel lights, anything like that, generally you're gonna be running white, especially if you have powder. If you don't have powder coat, say your suspension is a little bit rusty, your axles are a little bit rusty, colored rock lights kind of hide a lot of that, especially at nighttime. So you can still be lit up, but it hides all that rust. So especially like blues, reds, but there's a lot of different options. Like I said, from the 3 diode to the 108 diodes, there's a huge price difference in this rock lights. You can get 20 from CZ Mods for like 150 of the 3 diode, and then 108 diodes, 12 of them cost probably close to $500. It just kind of depends again on price range, but I promise you these 12 of these 108 diodes are 100 times brighter than the $150 20 piece. All right, so I came over here to the silver anneal level to show you guys. This one's got a lot of cosmetic aftermarkets done to it. This whole front end is not factory. It's got a Cervini ram air hood on it. It's got an overkill fab grille. It's got Morimoto headlights, and then it's got road armor bumpers front and rear. To change all of this right here from stock to all of this is very, very expensive. The grille's probably close to $2,000. The headlights after paint match are $2,000. This grill right here is probably close to $1,500 after paint, and the bumpers are probably gonna be like $5,000 to $6,000. Ridiculous. None of this needs to be done when you're first building a truck. It's right here. This is a decent example for what I think the perfect build is. Ford, Dodge, Chevy, they design their trucks from factory to look good. So why change that? Now, I am thinking about putting a Flog Industries bumper on here, but again, those are very expensive, not necessary for building a truck, because generally the stock bumpers are very, very clean. I actually have very minimal paint matching on this truck. I did the mirrors. Those are about $800. These are factory headlights. As aftermarket as they look, they are actually the factory headlights we took apart and paint matched. That was about $1,000. And then this badge right here was like $400. So I have Recon taillights that are paint matched on this truck. After all the paint matching, I was in like $2,000 versus that gonna cost like 10 grand to do your truck. Whereas this one looks absolutely fantastic. It looks insanely clean for about $2,000. Now, like I said, I wanna do a lot more paint matching. I wanna get rid of all this black or go with the Flog Industries bumper. This is a super short segment of this video because I personally don't even carry aftermarket bumpers. I just don't. The price to paint match all the stuff on this bumper, it's like $1,000 more to get Flog Industries one painted. So it's just like, I might as well go Flog Industries and go crazy with this build, but this build's already crazy. So if you're like trying to make it simple and clean, just go with a little bit of paint match. Paint match your headlights, taillights, and mirrors. That's all you need. Now, this portion of the video is gonna be mostly don'ts. I like stickers on trucks. I can't say much about them because that white truck is absolutely covered in them. But if it was my choice for SEMA, I probably wouldn't have wanted all those stickers on there, but I had to for the sponsorships, and it's completely okay. I like the way it looks. It looks like a proper SEMA build with all the stickers on there. But if you're building your first truck, do not go put these huge freaking stickers all over the truck. Basically a driving billboard for companies that aren't even sponsoring you, especially if you're paying full price. What's really clean is like this one right here. This one has got my Instagrams on both sides, and that's it. But if you want to run a company, rep a company, especially if they're buddies, like a detailing company, or my buddies is the lighting company, you'll see on most of my trucks, I've got a CZ Mod sticker. There's a CZ Mod sticker right there on the back of this truck. As you can see, I'm very close to CZ Mods, guys. So if you've got a brand that you're wanting to rep, that you genuinely support, that you like their customer service, even if they're not even friends, that's when you run a sticker. You don't just get a bunch of stickers made and basically look like you're a SEMA truck. If you want to do that, it's completely okay. If you think all those brands are good, but don't support a brand that doesn't support you, if you know what I mean. All right, so now we'll talk about the rest of the don'ts. There's not a whole lot of them just because it all depends on taste. So I don't want to tell you what not to do when it's not even my truck. But in my opinion, what you shouldn't do is buy stuff you don't want to start off with. If you don't want to run a 5-inch rough country lift, then don't. If that's all you can afford, save up the money and get what you want. I put probably close to 35, maybe even more in my 2008 Ram that I had. When I finally finished the build, if I would have just built it like that from scratch, I probably would have had like 22 to 25,000 in it. I would have had near as much into building that truck. That's why this white truck right here, I bought it stock and I went all the way. Because if I would have started with an 1/8-inch lift, I started with 26/16s, like if I would have done all that, I would have spent at least another $10,000 to $15,000 on parts that I wasn't even gonna end up running in the long run. So basically, if you're gonna build a truck, buy what you want. You may not be able to buy it now, but save up. It's going to be way more worth it in the long run. Especially if you're arguing with yourself over a lift that's, you know, rough country's 1,000, but you really want this lift that's about 3,000. Yeah, it's going to take you a month, 2 months, 3 months to save up for that lift. Build the truck you want. Don't settle for something less. Basically, the last don't. You can do it with your truck. It's not me. Don't run squatted trucks. There's a stereotype in the truck game. There's some trucks I don't even mind. Little 2 to 3 inch lean looks really, really good. Every truck that I run these levels with about 1.5 inches lower in the rear. I think it looks fantastic. But as far as doing like a 10 inch in front, lower it in the back, if you want to do that, whatever, you can do what you want. I have seen, honestly, some like Marshall Evans truck. It's clean, but it's just not my personal look. A lot of people hate them. But in my opinion, when you squat a truck, you're associating yourself with a bunch of people. And when people think of the trucks that ruin truck meets on the reason we can't have them anymore, you instantly think of squatted trucks. The guys that pull in, they rev their trucks up, they got super freaking loud music playing, they're trying to do burnouts. Like generally you don't see a nice, clean, stupid clean truck doing all that. Now, yeah, you do every now and then. I seen him last weekend at the meet I was at, on the meet we got kicked out at. So basically, I guess I'm trying to say, don't be that guy no matter what you have. If you have a truck like this, or you've got a 1993 Ford Ranger, do not be that guy that pulls in, straight pipes his truck, revs it out, plays loud music, does burnouts. Please don't be that guy. We can't have meets anywhere. We can't just sit in a parking lot and chill, because the cops just can come kick us out either way, whether we've done burnouts or not. So we keep getting kicked out. So I generally hope you enjoyed this video. I hope this gave you some insight on what you should do to your truck if you're building your first time truck, or even if it's your second, third truck, if you're trying to build a truck. I have a lot of experience building trucks. I built my first gen, I built my third gen, I built my 2017 F-250 I had, I built this 22 F-250 I had, I built 2019 dually that I had, and I bought this truck built. But as far as every single truck I've owned, I've never owned a stock truck except for this one. And within a month, it was completely in pieces with the axles out from underneath it. So I have a lot of experience. So I generally, like I said, I have a lot of people ask me what I do to vehicles. So I'm not making this video to tell you what to do and what not to do. This is all obviously opinionated, and it's all going to depend on your budget. But if you are going to be starting a truck, there is a budget that you need in mind. And in my opinion, you're probably going to need close to about $5,000 just for aftermarkets. If your bare minimum budget build, you can have $1,000 in the lift kit, $2,000 to $3,000 in wheels and tires. If you can do it at $500 in lighting, maybe $500 in audio, and you're gonna have a built truck. Like, you're gonna have a truck that, as long as it's decently clean enough, people are gonna love it. My third gen was rusted out, the wheels were curved, audio wasn't great, but I was respectful at meets. I was respectful enough on social media, and I posted a lot, and I gained almost 30,000 followers just from owning that truck. So I'm glad I owned it. But like I said, I put a lot of extra money in that truck. So if I wish there was somebody that would have posted a video like this that basically told me, hey, buy what you want, not what you think you want, and not settle for something that you don't want. Because if I would have just built that truck how I wanted from the start, I would have saved myself close to $10,000, but I kept buying all these different wheels that I didn't want. I went through a leveling kit, I went through a lift kit that I ended up not even liking in the end. I liked it. When I look back on it now, I wish I would have just left it the way it was. So basically, to cap off this video, I want you to build a truck that you like. Don't let other people's choices affect the way you build. Like, people hate the colors that are on the silver truck right here. I like it. It doesn't matter. Everybody else thinks, because I like it. It's gotten me a lot of views on social media. It's gotten me a lot of likes. That's a plus for me. So no matter what you decide to do, whether you listen to me, whether you listen to anybody else that's trying to tell you what upgrade you do, make sure you're happy. I want to build a squatted truck with 10-inch lift and nothing in the back. Freaking do it. If that's what this whole truck game is all about. It's about enjoying what you're building and being a part of a community that is actually pretty strong. While there's a lot of disagreements in the truck industry, while there's a lot of hating going on people, generally 95% of the people are very good people. They are very respectful, they are hardworking, and they get done, and they don't hate on anything. Now, it's that bad 5% that is very disrespectful. They're very annoying. They want to fight. They pull out weapons. They basically just get mad. They start a bunch of drama and rumors on social media. Just don't be in that 5%, I guess is what I'm saying. Don't ruin truck meets. Don't ruin this game for people, because sometimes there's some people out there that's all they have, and it's all the enjoyment that they have. I know when I had my third gen, when I had my first gen, that was pretty much all I had. I had no more money to do anything else. I didn't have a bunch of money to go buy a bunch of different stuff. I had money to build my trucks, and I worked until I was able to buy another part. And while that probably wasn't the smartest decision, that's how it was. I lived paycheck to paycheck because I wanted to build a truck. Now, to be fair, I was still in high school, so I was able to do that. But a lot of other people don't even get to do that. So basically, be respectful for what everybody wants to build. That's why I want to tell you, if you're doing some of the things that I said to not do in this video, it doesn't matter. I'm just basically speaking off my opinion. So anyways, I hope this video helped you out. If you enjoy my content, like, follow, comment down any other video ideas you want to see, comment down below anything I missed, if you think there's detrimental upgrades you need to do to any vehicle, and just different stuff like that. So hope you enjoyed this video. I'm out.